man sells all that he has. He finds a treasure, and it disrupts his whole life. It disrupts the way he lives, all of his priorities. It involves risk. It involves sacrifice. In fact, the treasure itself possesses him so completely that I can just imagine that he wakes up thinking about that treasure. He goes to bed thinking about that treasure. All during the day, he's focused on that treasure. And the question comes, does the love of God, which we are promised, does it possess us? Does that love of God disrupt the way we live? Does the love of God absolutely change the normal way we behave in our homes, in our community, in this world? So many people believe in this love of God, or at least we use words to describe it. And yet when we look at the world today in the news this past week, we think about the Malaysian airplane crash, 298 people destroyed because of war, because of anger. I'm not sure where the love of God and that fit together. I think of what's going on in Israel between the Palestinians and Hamas, or Hamas and the Palestinians and the Israelites. What's happening there? I'm not sure that all fits together with the love of God and the expression of that love of God. And we can go through and look at anything that has happened in any of our cities throughout our own country, any street in the United States. I'm not sure, again, that the love of God has disrupted our way of life or our priorities, or if that love of God has called us to accept that risk and the sacrifice that it demands being a follower of Jesus. Now, St. Paul in the second reading today tells us that Jesus is the new creation. And St. Paul reminds us that God has a new creation project in store for us. But Jesus is the firstborn. Jesus is the firstborn. Jesus is the one who shows us how we should live, what our priorities should be, what the cost of risk and sacrifice means. Jesus becomes that model for us. And we are called to be recreated into that image of Jesus Christ. We are called to be the second-born. We are called to be the beloved of God, just as Jesus was the beloved Son of God. Now, Emmett is going to be called, can I take Emmett? Will he come to me? Emmett's going to be called to be the very image of God and grow into that image of God and come to know that love of God in his own life. And each and every one of us is called to help him, to show us by the way we live, by our priorities. And so we need to do that with care, and we need to do that with love, because this is a precious child of God, isn't he? Don't you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a precious child of God. And so are all of we. And so we don't belong to a boss. We don't belong to a bank. We don't belong to an abusive spouse. We don't belong to an advertising industry. We belong to God. And if we live with that reality in our lives, we will celebrate and we will rejoice. And we will see Emmett grow into a wonderful, beautiful child of God, but each of us will continue to grow into the children of God we are called to be. God bless you.